lots of things to think about, right? There's so much great information here. So think about, what is your child independently willing to do? What will they do if you just give them the food? Do they touch the food to their lips? Do they put it to their teeth? Will they touch it with their tongue? Will they chew it? Will they take a bite? All goes back to those thoughts that Nikki threw out at us that are so great, because now you can look at your child eat and think about, you know what, he did take a bite of that, or he smelled it and then he threw it. Or, he squished it with his hands first and then said yuck. So you can kind of look at how they're eating and figure out how they're exploring the foods. Do they play with the foods? What do they do? So I think kind of the moral of the story from this is play with food. It goes the opposite from what our parents grew up teaching us, was to not play with your food. But for our kiddos that have difficulties with their feeding, we want them to feel comfortable. We want this experience to be good for them. So let's make it fun. Play with the food. Don't be scared to make a mess. You can throw them in the tub. You can wipe stuff down. You can, put them in an area of the kitchen where you can cover it with paper, whatever you need to do, especially when Angela was talking about that more, exploration of the food versus the actual meal, right, where they're getting their nutrition. Don't be afraid to make a mess. Explore textures in a non-forceful way. So a ton of my kids, and Nikki and I share several kids, that I have noticed have made the most progress are the kids where we have gotten parents to understand that when they take away that pressure and they don't say those things like, take a bite, try it, you'll like it, it's good, eat it, and they push it in their face, or they try to give it to them on a spoon, and they just leave it and walk away, even if it's safe, depending on the textures, right, and depending on your child and their skills. Even then, if they leave it on a plate for them to come back to, or even if just during the mealtime, they don't even draw as much attention to it and push for them to eat the food, the kids really start exploring it. They feel more comfortable. They don't have those demands constantly placed on them. I love to have a safe plate, or I've been lately calling it a goodbye plate, or a bye-bye plate. So having a separate bowl or a separate plate where you can just kiss it goodbye, mwah, goodbye. And I do that, and you would be shocked at how quickly kids will just kiss the food goodbye when before they wouldn't even touch it, right? And then you've gotten it up to the lips, and you've got a win for the day, right? So making a safe plate or a goodbye plate where if there's something they don't like, oh, okay, can you help me put it in the goodbye plate? You know what? You don't have to eat it. Let's just put it in the goodbye plate. And then next thing you know, the kids are touching the food. There you go. You're at that first crucial step. Try to match foods to those your child is eating already. Again, Nikki did a great job of explaining this. If your child is already eating chicken nuggets, then maybe you try for dino chicken nuggets. Slightly different, also very fun to play with because they're dinosaurs. And you can make up all kinds of fun games with these dinosaur nuggets. If they'll eat Cheez-Its, maybe the next thing to do is to try a different, orange cracker, right? So just thinking of how you can introduce something that's slightly different, either in color or texture, and try to match it with what they're already eating so it's not as scary, right? That's how we eat as adults. We tend to gravitate to things and places that we know and we're comfortable with. And then, we start to branch out based on things that are closer to things we already eat. And eat with your child. You are their very, very best model. I always tell my families, number one, you are the expert on your child. You will always be the expert. You will be the expert more than any doctor, any therapist. You know them better than anyone. And so you being with them and eating with them and modeling how to play with the foods and modeling eating the foods is going to be just monumental in their success. So play with the foods. Don't be afraid to make a mess, and really think about how your child's eating and how you can make this experience more pleasant for everyone.